Did you know that Rochester has been under a state of emergency for 3 years? Well, we went out into the community and asked people what their thoughts were on that. Here's what they had to say. Do you know that Rochester is under a state of emergency and what that might actually mean?
I did not, and I don't know what that would mean.
Our inner city is always in a bad area, in the gray area, funding for after school programs and things like that. If we are in effect of a state of an emergency today, we've been in a state of emergency for years.
I know the city has had its long history of different kind of socio-economical problems, but I would say I'm kind of wouldn't. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting thought to consider it a crisis.
I have read it in the Democrat and Chronicle, and that Malik Evans has declared a state of emergency for some areas, if not the whole town. And that's almost as little as I know.
We have been under a state of emergency for 3 years, and so that basically means that our local government has the ability and power to shut down local businesses and streets that have been experiencing large amounts of violence.
It sucks because the violence is everywhere, and it is hard to kind of put, I guess, a time frame on it. Maybe like it's hard to say, like, if we shut it down for so long, maybe it'll stop it from happening. Because who's to say as soon as you open it back up, it won't start back up.
I think working downtown and like over the summer we like put boards up on the windows because there was like I guess a rumor that like there was going to be like a protest, and then there was like violence that was going to come with it. Like there was just a lot of hearsay, but there's a lot of stuff in here, So we ended up like boarding up the windows for like the weekend. But I think it does a lot to small business and like like the mom and pop shops, especially because that's what like the city thrives on is like small business.
Well, as far as affecting the community, as far as this area, there's nothing for us to do in the inner city. So everything that's not in the inner city is out here. So everything is going to flood out over here. More addicts are going to come this way because they feel it's more money out here. They're going to take a panhandle and things like that. So there's other areas that are affected heavily off that effect that's going on actually. So
We do not have a lot of high gun violence here on Park Avenue, but I feel bad for those people in places and neighborhoods where they are experiencing high gun violence. I can relate to all of them. I taught in the city schools. I know the city kids. I know how this affects their lives. So it's not a good thing. So anything we can do to get that to stop, just about anything, might be a good thing.
Do you think that Rochester should have a curfew for people 17 years old and younger? And if so, how do you think Rochester would go about that?
If I was 17 or younger, I would hate me for saying this, but I do think that it should be somewhat of a thing. Not sure how you could go about it because kids are crazy.
as a parent of a teenager, curfews are really shouldn't be a city thing. It should be more of an in-house thing. That's a home thing. That's more of a parenting thing. Like everybody should know where their child is at all times.
I honestly don't think it's too realistic for a law to go into place like that, so I really don't have a comment.
I'd say it's a double-edged sword.
It's not a bad idea because like the amount of violence going on is definitely rising, and minors and stuff being out. I mean, you can't really keep an eye on them. But it's kind of hard to stop them, and like, how are you going to stop a 17 from going out? You know what I mean?
It would have to be really bad, and then enforcing that curfew would be very difficult, and it would lower people's opinion of law enforcement if they had to do that. So it sounds like a good idea, but it may not be the best idea.